Skeptics Review, The Bible, by John Smith. So it's been an interesting week. Had some highs and lows. A big thank you to all of my viewers, just for being you. I love you guys. But now it's back to business. Time to make the donuts and all that. Exodus 32. So the people started missing that whiny Moses guy. Maybe it was the sound of his voice or something. He's been up on that mountain for 40 upteen bajillion days and nights after all. So the totally memento-esque Israelites, who had forgotten all of Lord Yahweh's miracles and wonders already, like killing all the Egyptian kids and parting an entire sea for them and such, told Aaron to just make him a new god already, 'cause they were all itching to get a worshiping or something, I guess. So the people asked Aaron, "Where's that whiny, snivelly Moses guy who keeps saying that he's not a good speaker? We wot not what has become of him." Okay, viewers, your assignment for the weekend is to fit "wot not" in a normal conversation somewhere. Let me know how that goes. Aaron told everyone to take off the earrings, which your wives and sons and daughters are wearing. I guess the 600,000 men didn't wear earrings, just the uncounted women and children. Must have been a lot of gold earrings that they got from those Egyptians who just handed them over, or the Israelites just walked into any old random Egyptian house and just took them. Something like that. Anyway, Aaron melted all the earrings down, and depending on which Bible you read, either made a mold or used a sculpting tool, or in one of the Bibles I think it says he graved it. You know, a graving tool for graven images. But when I was a kid I used to call them craven images. That brings me to the first thing I want to talk about, was when I was a kid in Sunday school. There was a lot of this story left out. Pretty much went, golden calf, God mad, Moses mad, tablet smashed, end of story. I distinctly remember asking why the Israelites would worship a cow instead of God, pretty much thinking, how stupid were these people anyway? I can't seem to remember what my Sunday school teacher gave me as an answer. Now, of course, we have these magical things called Google and the Internet and Wikipedia. So, bull worship was common in many cultures back then, and something about religious assimilation, because we all know that never happened in Judaism or Christianity. Then there's some relationship between the lunar bull and the god of El. Also, bull worship is not limited to the biblical world. Finally, the golden calf comes up again later in the Bible in Kings, with Jeroboam. Wouldn't want to spoil it for you. Anyway, Aaron sculpts or molds or graves the golden calf somehow, and then depending on which Bible you're reading, Aaron either says, "This is your God," or "These are your gods." Curiously, the footnotes in multiple Bibles try to clarify things for us. In a Bible where it says, "God singular," the footnotes say, "or gods." When the Bible says gods plural, the footnotes say, or God singular. So I decided to do some extra due diligence in this video because I just love this chapter so much. And I headed over to BibleGateway.com, where they have 40 plus English translated Bibles that you can compare side by side, and it's pretty cool. So I looked at 9 more Bibles than my usual 3 of the 40 plus on their list. There seems to be no consensus whatsoever between God's singular and God's plural when referring to this golden calf. The footnotes are all over the place as well. Moving on. So Aaron declares a festival. Curiously, he says it's to honor the Lord, which may lend credence to that El Bull God connection. And then things quickly spiral out of control into some kind of drunk 70s porno orgy. What do you think, Ron? Meh. So again, my 3 Bibles say different things here. Was it a porno sex orgy or not? One says they indulged in revelry. Another says they rose up to play. The last one says drunken sex orgy. Ron? Eh. Okay, so other Bibles say, rose up to play, seems to be a common theme. Got up to celebrate, rose up to play, rose up to sport. What were they sporting? Ron? Oh. More rose up to play, and finally, carry on like wild people, which sounds just like 70s porno orgy to me. Meh. Meanwhile, up on that mountain, Lord Yahweh got wind of what the Israelites were doing down there, golden calf and 70s orgies and whatnot, so he goes into a rant of expository dialogue for a bit, of stuff we the readers already know, just to tell Moses about it, of course. Lord Yahweh is mad because apparently the Israelites didn't pay that close attention to his PR very well. And he tells Moses, don't try to stop omnipotent, omnibenevolent me from destroying them. To which Moses, in his whiniest, sniveliest voice, says, but Lord Yahweh, why did you go to all the trouble to rescue these people if you were just going to destroy them? What will the Egyptians say? Because Moses is much more worried about what the Israelites' enemies have to say than the actual welfare of the Israelites themselves. Moses reminds omnipotent, omnipresent, omnibenevolent Yahweh that he did promise, married his sister Abraham, almost got killed in the sacrifice Isaac, and boinked his two cousins, Jacob, that they would have more descendants than the stars in the sky. To be fair, they didn't have the Hubble telescope back then, and they couldn't point it at what looked like black nothing, and then, surprise, surprise, see endless galaxies. And ancient Mesopotamians used the number 40 to mean upteen bajillion long time. Meh. So the omnipotent Lord Yahweh changed his mind. Geez, never done that before. So Moses heads on down the mountain with Joshua. Was Joshua with him the whole entire time? I must have missed that. So Moses was carrying the 2 stone tablets with the commandments, not the 10 commandments, written on both sides. Bet you don't see many 10 commandments in front of government buildings written on both sides, do you? Joshua says, I hear people shouting. Must be a battle. Moses says, that's no battle. That's the sound of drunk orgy sexy time. So Moses came to the bottom of that mountain and was furious. So he smashes the tablets written on both sides with the unnumbered commandments on them. Then Moses took the golden bowl, ground it into fine powder, and mixed it with water, and made the people drink it. Brings me back to my college days. Then Moses gets mad at his brother Aaron, and Aaron plays the not my fault game. He goes off into some more expository dialogue information dump for us to read about in the infallible, divinely inspired holy book. The best part, though, is when Aaron is all like, I just threw the gold earrings in the fire and poof, like magic, out came this bull calf. Moses saw that Aaron had not controlled the people. Stupid brother. Can't leave him alone to mind the store for even 1 second. Much less upteen bajillion days. So Moses, who was from the tribe of Levi, remember, gathered all the Levites around him and told them to belt on their swords and kill all of their brothers, friends, and neighbors. About 3,000 men died that day. No mention of how many women and or children, of course. I know I will get into trouble for asking this, but is there anybody else we can name who killed 3,000 people in the name of his religion? Anyone? Anyone you can think of recently? No? Moving on. So Moses goes back up the mountain and tells Yahweh everything that Lord Yahweh already knows and sent Moses down the mountain for in the first place. Moses says, Lord Yahweh, please forgive the people or remove my name from the book of the heavens. God says, no, I will remove from my heavenly book all of the names of the people who sinned against me. Oh, and a totally unrelated detail that I'm inserting here. So when I lead you away from this place, my angel will guide you. Then, just to nail the point home, Lord Yahweh, the omnibenevolent, sends a disease on the people. So the moral of the story is, don't fuck with Lord Yahweh. And that, my viewers, ends chapter 32.